first of all, and this is kind of also a good general little bit of advice for anybody who is concerned about potential identity theft. You should be regularly monitoring both your bank statements and credit reports. And if you notice any changes at all, you should take immediate action. And you can report suspected fraud, of course, to either the FTC, the government, and any of the three major credit bureaus. There's also the ability to do something called a freeze. And I think a lot of us have probably heard about like the fraud alerts that'll happen whenever some of us have automatically been enrolled in this after a breach that has affected us. A credit freeze will prevent your credit report from being accessed and used to open a new line of credit until it is unfrozen. To do that, you'll have to contact each of the three credit bureaus individually, and there's pretty strict timelines about how long and the method that you contact them before they freeze your credit. And so following that, if you want to, let's say like recently I bought a new car. What I did is the week that I knew I was going to be running my credit and I would be going to the dealership, I just called each of the bureaus, had my credit unfrozen. Once the whole car buying process, I called each of the three credit bureaus back and said I would like to refreeze my credit. And so now it can't be open or it can't be used to open any further lines of credit. Yes, especially in cases where the social security numbers are being leaked. Once you have that social security number, they could reasonably impersonate me at, say, a dealership or a bank or even a retail store that has credit cards. And they say, yes, my name is Jennifer Shannon. This is my social security number. This is proof of who I am. And they're like, okay, here, you have this credit score. We're going to approve you for $30,000. And then they can go spin that under my name. They're not liable for that, but I am because it's under my name. There's also another little bit of a protection against potential credit or identity theft. IRS will automatically give you something called a IP or an IRS IP PIN, which is the identity protection PIN. So anytime you submit a tax return or anything or certain documents to the IRS, you will be required to provide that unique PIN that changes every year. But you don't have to be the victim of identity theft to get one. Anybody is eligible to go apply for one preemptively. Worst case scenario, there are definitely avenues to begin a identity theft case. This usually involves, I believe specifically the FTC has an online form that you can go start filling out and they can go ahead and start that case. You can also go ahead and start notifying, again, all three credit bureaus that, hey, my identity's been stolen. It seems that people are opening credit cards or taking out these lines of credit in my name that I did not do. In case of a successful investigation, very likely those fraudulent activities can be removed from your credit report, but it takes time. So the sooner that you can react to that and start the ball rolling, the better. You can also, some companies out there, I am not in a position to recommend any over any of the other ones. I know for me personally, I was affected by, I believe it was the Equifax breach, and they had automatically enrolled me in something, and it was something that I kind of kept rolling. But I cannot remember off the top of my head which one it was. But there are several products out there. I do recommend doing some research to figuring out which one is the most trustworthy and applicable to your situation. Sure. Yes, maintaining vigilance is a very important part of just basic digital hygiene, especially as we become more reliant on technology for day-to-day business. I think something especially to keep in mind at this stage, this breach, while it has technically been out since April of this year, we're only really starting to see information about it and the long-term effects of it right now. So I think in the coming weeks, we'll develop a much better idea for the overall impact. And so especially in the next few months, now that this is widely known, people should be extra vigilant in protecting themselves. Oh yeah, I think that's a growing concern, especially like it's already an issue, and I think it's only going to continue to become a bigger one. So I am a huge believer in that knowledge is power. So um, informing as many people as possible about these types of issues and how they can protect themselves, I think is the best way to combat those in the long term.